I thought it was. Spoken like a true warrior.
I thought I'd rather play great, fun, great role to play as an actor. And a lot of people say, show me
Just a little rebellious, maybe.
that.
You're just a little rebellious.
A little rebellious, but
Yeah,
the guy has hope, you know?
yeah. But your dad doesn't get angry. He seems, even though maybe you don't fit the mold, he seems to be proud of you anyway.
Yeah, well, there's a father-son relationship. Relationships with people in your family, I think, are the most complex relationships you'll ever have in your life. Because you can't throw them back.
No, you're stuck with him.
You're stuck with them, and they're the people that you should be the closest to. You know, people assume that you're going to be the closest to people in your family, but in a lot of cases, they're not. You know, and I think in that case, we sort of worked on the idea of a backstory of when my mother died of cancer.
Okay.
My father sent me to boarding school.
Oh, okay. Now that hasn't come up. Will it come up in the future?
It doesn't have to come up because it's just in the playing.
Yeah.
I mean, this is what I really love about this show and this story is that an audience doesn't necessarily need to be told every detail because it's not about every piece of information, it's about the behavior that you're watching. And as an actor, it's okay for you to know the detail. You don't have to always tell the audience. You know, things manifest in certain ways. I mean, what we're trying to do with this show is make it as realistic as possible.
But you are new to American television, actually, in this role. And people are going to want to know as much as they can about the backstory and how you got to be the way you are. And then, of course, your personal life will be something else again. So are you prepared for all of this?
Well,
I know in Australia you're quite famous.
Right. Yeah, but am I prepared for it?
Yeah.
I'm not some sort of single sort of kid that's going to get overly excited about this sort of stuff. I'm pretty earthed as far as, you know, my life. I'm a young man, I'm settled, I've got kids, I'm married, you know, I have my own comfort zone personally, and how much of that I give up really does depend on me.
That's right.
And anyone that dares to try and take it from me without me wanting to give it up is going to be on the wrong end of my fist.
Well, now, you see, this is what's going to appeal to people. Look at Crow. You know, he has the same attitude. And
Yeah, but well, Rusty's a different story, you know.
Yeah.
Everyone's a different person, and you know, the thing is, am I prepared for it? I don't think you can prepare for something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I think what I was trying to say, my point is no, I'm not trying to be rambunctious in any way, but I have a wonderful family, and I'm not the kind of guy that's out and about all the time. So I think you draw more attention to yourself if you're out and about all the time. You know what I mean?
yeah.
I mean, I'm a pretty sort of low-key guy when it comes to, I love working, I love what I do. As far as the media and all of that sort of stuff, there's a necessity there, but when it starts to get nasty, which I don't even want to preempt because I don't think it's going to.
I don't think it will either.
You know, I'm not that kind of guy. I'm not going to be drawing attention to myself in a negative way, and you just have to roll with the punches for that sort of thing. I mean, sure, it's a little daunting, but as long as everything's good at home, then I'm a happy camper.
Because, when you hit a hit series like this, and people take to it, it's just uncanny what happens. Where you can't go anywhere, people don't recognize you, and they come up to you thinking they really know you. You've never seen them, but they look at you every week in their homes, and you become almost a part of their neighborhood or their family or what have you.
My first ever job was in television in Australia, and
are they as bad as we are, though?
And yeah,
or worse?
There's just not as many of them.
Okay.
But absolutely, it was difficult to go shopping. It was difficult to go and buy toothpaste at the supermarket. It was difficult to go anywhere. But that's all par for it. The thing is, first and foremost, and it's an important thing to put out there, is that I'm an actor, and there are a lot of people out there that kind of play themselves on TV shows, and I'm nothing like the character in the show. I'm nothing like that guy at all.
How are you different?
I'm far more easygoing guy, far more easygoing, and I'm very, I'm a lot warmer than that guy. That guy's got a lot of hurting going on.
Yeah, because when the little boy asked him, I forget his name now, I thought, when I previewed that tape, I had just had rotator cuff surgery on my shoulder. That's why I wasn't on the press tour. And I was still under a lot of drugs. And so I don't remember the names real well of what I saw. But when he asked you, you don't want to do this job, do you? And you said, no, I don't. Very matter of fact, that. But you did it anyway. And I think the kid appreciated that.
Yeah. Well, I think, you know what? I think what's interesting about this show is that what you see, and this is generally with people, is what you see is not necessarily what there is. You only see certain aspects. It's the tip of the iceberg of most people what you see, and people don't necessarily always do want to do things. And I think what is really good about this character is that he is very honest. He is very honest to himself. It's like saying, people say, how are you this morning? And if you're really not good or you're feeling very depressed, then you shouldn't say, I'm great, I'm good. You say, well, I'm not feeling that good, but that's my thing and I'll get through with it. This guy's very honest. The kid says, you don't want to do this, do you? He goes, truth be told, no, I don't. And there's nothing better than seeing someone that is direct and honest, I think.
Well, I think that's what I liked about the show. Frankly, I'm tired of some of these others, There's so many cop shows and so many lawyer shows.
There's a lot of lawyer shows. But
and this one takes... No, it takes a different turn entirely. Yeah, and I think this is good. This is why it's different. You keep saying, well, what are they going to do? They wore out the Westerns until, forget it. You hardly see one anymore. And then with all the cop shows and all the lawyer shows and the doctor shows.
Yeah.
And this one has a different take. It looks different. You are different. I'm just real excited about it. And I'm counting on it to be a real hit this year.
Well, I hope it's successful. I mean, this whole TV world is very new to me here, and it's a crapshoot. You don't know. Like, not necessarily the best shows are the biggest hits. It's just not the way it works.
Well, a lot depends on the night it airs, the time it airs.
Yeah.
And what you're up against.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, I listen. I wouldn't work on this show. I wouldn't work on a television show if I didn't believe in it. And I tell you what, I think this is better than this. This is a great show, and I hope that people aren't too challenged by it. mind you, I don't think we should water it down. I think it's good to be as potent as it is. And I think it's nice that people question whether or not he's a good guy or a bad guy.
Well, I don't think CBS is going to tamper too much with that show.
I hope not.
They don't usually do that. And they usually give it a good run. There was a period when, after the first 2 episodes, if it didn't take, it was off.
Yeah.
How many episodes have you filmed, or what are they planning for you?
We're 3 days into our 4th episode so far.
Into the 4th?
Yeah.
And what have they booked, 13?
They've ordered, I think they ordered the first 13, yeah.
Yeah, that's the first half of the season, so that's good.
Yeah.
By then you should be well fixed. Tell me, how did you get your start in acting in Australia, and how old were you when you started?
I'd always wanted to do it, as a kid, but I grew up in an environment, in a very working class environment, and it was not necessarily something that you were sort of, that I could be very open about wanting to do. It was not, I grew up in a very sort of male-dominated environment, and the idea of being an actor was, shut up, you're a fucking dreamer. that kind of idea.
Right.
Join the army or be a builder or something. Get yourself a trade. But I was a bit of the rebellious kid, and I ended up doing what I wanted to do anyway.
Well, what turned you into acting, though, if it wasn't around you?
Escapism, I think. Escapism, I think. I love the idea. I'm a big kid, and I like to pretend, and I really like people. I mean, I don't really like people, but I really am interested in the way people behave.
Oh, boy, I've got a dog that just absolutely does not like anybody. What do they say? Dogs are like their owners?
Yeah.
Anytime anybody goes by or comes in, he just has a fit.
Yeah. I mean, listen, it's not that I don't have anything against people, but I like some people. I like people, but I really am. The thing that drew me to acting is I like the psychology of the way people relate to each other.
Mm-hmm.
It's fascinating.
So how old were you when you finally started?
22, 21.
Oh, well, you gave it a good chance.
21, 22.
You were ready.
I've been doing it since then, yeah. I've been doing it professionally since then.
And then this brought you to America, or what brought you to America?
I came over here. My first job when I came to America was LA Confidential.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I felt that I had seen you somewhere before, and at first, because I had just watched that HBO movie, 61,
Yeah.
you resembled one of the actors in that.
Oh, the guy who played Mickey Mantle.
Right. Have you been told that before?
No.
You did. And at first I said, oh, he played Mickey Mantle. And then I looked back to make sure. And then I found out, no, it wasn't you at all.
No,
So it must have been in LA Confidential that I saw
LA
you.
Confidential, yeah, I played the young actor.
Right. So that was your beginning here.
That was my beginning in America. Then I did a couple of other different films here. A couple of independent films. I was in Ang Lee's Ride with the Devil,
Uh-huh.
where I played George Clyde, southern sort of gentleman.
Well, you're talking to someone that lives in Virginia, so there you go.
Did you see that film?
No, I didn't.
Oh, shit.
Well, I'll get it now.
I recognize it.
Really? Why? What did you do different?
Oh, I just did different. Just new way. You said it there.
You're a redneck in it?
No, I'm not a redneck. It's a Civil War film.
Oh, how did I miss it? I never missed a Civil War film.
Yeah.
I live in the middle of where all these battles took place.
Yeah, well, sacking of Lawrence.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we played Bushwhackers.
Oh, okay. Oh, I'm gonna have to see that.
Yeah, Ride with the Devil. Check it out.
Yeah, sure. I will.
I was in a film called Judas Kiss with Carla Gugino and Alan Rickman and Emma Thompson.
Right.
I was in Red Planet with Val Kilmer.
Okay.
And I've got a film coming out in October where I play the male lead opposite Hilary Swank.
Oh.
Called The Affair of the Necklace.
So you've done quite a bit. Affair of the Necklace. Yeah, it's in here. I see that.
Yeah.
Now, how many children do you have?
Two and a bun in the oven.
Oh, boy.
Got number 3 coming.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
And you've just had a birthday.
July 30.
Yeah.
How'd you know that? You got it all there.
Yeah. See, your life is going to be an open book, son, and you just can't get away from it.
Yeah. Well, as long as you treat me nicely, it's okay.
Well, I will. You can guarantee on that, because when CBS called me and said, oh, did you receive the tapes and all that? And somewhere they sent me some of the transcripts from the interviews that were done on the press tour.
Yeah.
I'm sure you were there.
I was there.
Yeah. Well, that's the second time I've ever missed a press tour since 1970-something.
Wow.
Yeah. But like I said, I just had surgery. And I said, I can't make it, but please send me, what you've got. And they did. So I'm going to go through that transcript and pick up some of the questions they harassed you with. Did they ask you a lot of questions?
No, they were sort of, I deal with these things in a particular way, which is just my own way. And I'm Australian, so I'm pretty direct and pretty forthright, and I'm a big advocate of honesty.
Uh-huh.
I'm not necessarily that good at putting on the
press tour.
The
veneer.
Bullshit, I am who I am. Take it or leave it. Because I'm taking it. Because it's who I am, and I got to live with me for the rest of my life, and I'm happy with that, and that's fine. And quite frankly, I don't give a shit about what anyone else thinks. It's about how I feel and my family.
Well, that's what the fallacy of that press tour is, because you get a few people that go there that try to dominate all the questions. And if you want to ask the actor something, or like I have a certain question in mind with a follow-up, you never get to do the follow-up because somebody's cutting in all the time.
Right.
and going in a different direction. And then they start with the producers or the directors, and who cares about them? You want to talk and find about the star, because that's what the people want to read about.
Yeah.
So I never ask questions of those things. If I like the show, I'll tell the publicist, I want an interview with so-and-so. I'd rather do a phoner and get the background material that I have on you and come up with my own story.
Right.
But those press tours, outside of meeting the publicists and getting to know who to call when you want a story,
Right.
I don't mess with it. Because I think they're all a bunch of jerks.
Well, I can't comment.
Yeah, I know you can't, because it's the press.
No, it seemed, I thought it was going to be far more painful than what it was. It was relatively painless.
Well, that's good.
And I was very sick, so I'm glad. I was actually very sick. I had tonsillitis and an ear infection.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, it was my first week of shooting too, so I was not in good shape. But
well, I'm going to have to read and see what some of them wrote about this.
Yeah.
To see just what they said about you. Did they know you were ill?
Yeah, they were aware of it.
Oh, well, that's good. Then they'll be kind.
They were aware of it. Well, whatever. I just hope they enjoy the show.
Well, how was that? Did they say they did?
Well, a lot of people were sort of, they were like, what's this show about? Because it's a bit, it's not sort of all there on the page for you, so you've got to get involved.
Well, didn't they watch it so they know what it's about?
Well, that's kind of, it's not exactly the best answer to give them, is it? Didn't you watch it so now you know what it's about? I can't really do that.
No, I know you can't, but I mean, see, that's the kind of stuff that I come out with, when they come to me and say, well, what do you need, and I'll say, well, and I tell them exactly what I think, maybe because I've been doing this too long, but this is the way I feel about it.
It's a good quality not to suffer fools.
Well, the other thing, Simon, that I don't do, I won't ask for an interview or do an interview with someone that I don't think I could be nice to. I'm not the kind that's going to watch a show and then tear it to pieces. What's the point? I'm going to do an interview with a show that I think will appeal to people. And I have to be very careful because one time I said something about it being a family movie and that Rupert Elliott was in it. I don't know if you know him.
No.
Well, he's openly gay.
Oh, Rupert Everett.
Yeah, the Everett. But it was Princess Daisy, and Robert Urich was in it, and it was just a great movie, I thought. And there was a suggested rape scene with his sister. I mean, it wasn't even shown. And because I said it was a family movie, because it was a nice movie, you should have seen the letters I got. Oh, I was so embarrassed in front of my kids that there was a rape scene and blah, blah, and it wasn't. But see, you have to be careful what you write.
Yeah.
So I from then on, I said, look, if I don't really see the show, and I'm going to write what I like, and if they don't like it, tough. But I wish you all the luck in the world on this show, but I think you've already got it.
Oh, well, thank you.
And I'm going to do everything I can to publicize it.
Thanks, Polly. Well,
And don't get mad if I say he's adorable to look at.
I won't get mad about anything.
Okay, good luck, Simon.
Nice talking to you, Polly.
Thank you for calling. Bye-bye.
Bye.